Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of e-commerce marketing chats on YouTube. If you haven't already, join us in our Facebook group. We are at e-commerce marketing community on Facebook. Grow your Shopify sales. Come check us out there. And any questions that you've got or anything that you want to discuss further on this call, you can come talk to us there. So, Charles, how you going today?
Yeah, I'm all good, Jimmy. All good. I was just telling Jimmy that I'm off to the short flight across from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore tomorrow for e-commerce Expo Asia. So that'll be that's on the Wednesday and Thursday of this week. Yeah, it should be. I'm excited to see what they've got there, and I know Shopify will be there. TikTok are going to be doing a presentation as well. So yeah, some interesting talks by the looks of the itinerary.
I think these events are massively underutilized by people with stores, people in the industry selling services. Like the networking opportunities that you can get from these type of events are amazing. And even though we like to chat about the marketing aspect of ecom, I think this potentially has exponential opportunity to help you grow your store in the form of networking and potentially creating almost an accountability group with other people that you meet in the same industry as you. This is a bit off topic, but I heard Mr. Beast actually talking about when he grew his YouTube channel, he had four other people that he was just talking to every day, and they were talking about what we're doing to grow our YouTube channel, what's working for us, what's not. And he said being in that group was like saving so much time because you're just learning from other people's mistakes and you're not making those mistakes because you've just learnt it off someone else. So the learning experience on that and how fast you can grow is just exponentially quicker than if you were to do it by yourself. And I find that a lot with people in the e-commerce space. They're trying to grow their page on their own, their store on their own. They're trying to do everything themselves. I know even when I started getting into marketing, I had a group, basically an accountability group that I had set up while I was still working in house, and I still got that group today. And it is basically a monthly reflection, and I know anyone that's in that group I can reach out to at any time, and it's almost become like a brotherhood, and we've kind of been able to, bounce ideas off each other, learn from each other, help each other out. But more importantly, over the years, it's just become, if you don't track your stuff monthly, like 3 months can go by and you're like, what have I actually done? Just
Mm.
time goes by so quickly, which is why it's so important to have a check-in, whether mine's monthly, but some people it might be quarterly. If you're not checking in and you've set yourself or you set your e-commerce store a yearly goal, so many people will set themselves a yearly goal and then review it of November of that year. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I haven't done this, I haven't done that. Like you just forget about it. So unless you're looking at it every day or reviewing it regularly and taking small steps to get where you want to go, it's not going to happen. So if you do get the chance, like Charles, to go to some of these e-commerce events, I couldn't recommend highly enough. Like researching if they've got like a community group that you can join before you go in there and start diving into people's profiles and finding people that you actually might like to connect with or just have a chat with, and build a relationship with them. And then potentially down the track a little bit, you can talk about, hey, let's just set up, either a Slack group or a Facebook group. The one that I run, there's five other guys in there at the moment. I'm waiting for Charles to come back, hopefully in the next couple of months. But yeah, the one I have is just four other guys in there at the moment, and we just basically give a full review on our businesses every month, and it's a way to hold us accountable. But a lot of people in there I've met from business communities. So me and Charles actually met through an online business community. Although funny thing, we haven't actually met in person yet. So I'm hoping it happens in the very near future. We'll see.
It's only been
Um,
what? nearly 10 years, I think.
Yeah, no, that's been a long time. So it'd be coming on that, I reckon. So I joined that community in 2016. So yeah, coming up to, I think I've been in there 8 years. So yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, if you can, I think I'm excited for Charles to get to go to this ecom event. But yeah, I'm putting the challenge down to him to, hey, network with some people there, see what you can do, build some relationships, because it's from those relationships that you build that you can grow exponentially with someone else. And you'll have something to offer them too. So never be afraid to just reach out. One of my really good friends at the moment, like we chat about Google Ads all the time. I met him at a marketing event in Melbourne. So yeah, just shows don't underestimate the type of people that go to those events. They're usually people just like you. They're going to those events because they're interested in the content that it's about. So you're going to be in a room with a whole bunch of other people that enjoy ecom. So it's the place you want to be if you're looking to grow kind of a store with not on your own anymore. Like find your hub, find the people that are cheering you on, and use them to help you grow. And the mistakes that you make, share it with them so you can help them grow. And it's just, you grow exponentially together. It's something that's not talked about enough. I know we talk about the marketing and everything else, but even on the marketing side, I'm talking to people that are specialists in each area of the marketing. So I'm not making those mistakes when we're doing the marketing on particular platforms for clients. And I'm approached a lot for advice on Google Ads specific things that are going down in ecom. So yeah, be open and provide your knowledge willingly to those type of people. And yeah, it comes back in droves, 100%.
Yeah, no, networking is very, it's a powerful tool. And I think now with everything being digitalized, people don't get out there enough. I'm trying to make a more active effort more recently. Actually, I went to an event here in Kuala Lumpur, I think last week or the week before. And yeah, I've met some really cool people there. I even got interviewed on a YouTube channel that nearly had 400,000 subscribers. And this was just completely off the cuff, you know. This was just me showing up, and an opportunity presented itself, and I was able to, yeah, get on a channel and its exposure. And you never know what these things will lead to. So yeah, as Jimmy said, get out there, network, find your tribe, and that's only gonna. I think you need people around you to support you when you're trying to build a business. You know,
100%. It's a lonely journey by yourself.
Yeah.
Very
Absolutely.
lonely. And I kind of look at my circle now, the people that I chat to the most every day, other than, you know, my best mate from high school and my best mate from university. Outside those two, and my family, my inner circle, I've all met at networking events, and you know, they've become like almost like my second family. Like I love hanging out with them, I love chatting with them, and yeah, they give me energy and they inspire me, and to go on and kind of create what I'm creating. So yeah, 100%. Like leverage the networking events where you can, especially when they're so niche specific. Like Charles is going to an event purely that's going to be about e-commerce. I mean, you can't get any more kind of specific than that when you kind of, unless you're going to an SEO e-commerce, you know, event. Like it's probably just one level up from that.
Yeah, yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, cool. Well, Jimmy, what's on the agenda today? What did you want to kind of delve into?
I kind of want to talk because I've seen it throughout a lot of groups. Like, hey, my sales have dried up. Have they dried up for anyone else? Or hey, I haven't got any sales in like 6 days. Is this happening for everyone else too? One, I hate those questions because the whole e-commerce world hasn't stopped just because your store has stopped. But I want to cover some of the kind of main things that may be causing it, if it's not just a hey, your site was hardly getting any traffic anyway, and you might have been getting one sale a week, and now you didn't get any this week. Like if you're getting like a decent amount of sales, say like 50 a week, and then the next week it's at zero, there's potentially an issue. So these are kind of the places where you want to start to look. So the first one that I've noticed popped up is your shipping rates and regions. So just the other week, I was trying to support someone in our community actually. They listed their site in the community, and I was going to purchase a product, and I messaged them like, "Hey, it says there's no delivery available to my location." And she said, "Oh, that's strange. Like we do deliver to where you are." So she went into her Shopify and saw that all her shopping regions were messed up, and it was the reason they weren't doing any sales, because every time people got to the checkout page, they couldn't actually check out because it said, "Hey, we don't deliver to your area," when in fact they did. So she was like, "Oh, we haven't had any sales for 2 weeks." I'm like, "Is that unusual?" They said, "Yeah, very unusual." And then I was like, "Oh, I'm happy to support you guys, and my wife will like these products, so I'll buy one." And then I went to the checkout page and I couldn't check out. So it's like
That's the problem.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people don't do this enough. They don't check their own sites, especially when if you've got a gut feeling that something's not right, you got to go onto your site and check it and pretend that you're a customer and go through that whole process of getting to the checkout and seeing what's going on. So that's one, the shipping regions. Make sure you're checking that. Another one, surprisingly, is the payment processes. So I've seen, PayPal suspended accounts, and they're not even aware that PayPal's suspended their account till they realize, hey, we haven't had any sales in like five days. What's going on? And PayPal may have been their only method of payment processing, and they haven't checked their emails to see that, hey, PayPal's actually temporarily suspended your account for whatever reason. Another one is if you've got a card payment processor. Same thing happened this week to one of my bigger clients. They do around between 50 to 100K in sales a day. And I got a message, hey Jimmy, we had a card attack on our payment processor last week, and we haven't fixed it up to the level of the payment processor's liking. So they suspended our payment processor temporarily. So we've lost card payments, we've lost PayPal, and we've lost Apple Pay. And they're like, "Oh, should we turn the ads off?" I'm like, yes. Like, let's sort out your, and they're worried about, oh, we can wear it for a while if it's going to have like a negative impact on Google long term. I'm like, no, you guys are spending a fair bit of money a day on Google Ads, so let's just pause that and you guys can sort out your payment processes. But it's unbelievable to me that businesses at that level don't have a backup payment processor. Like,
Yeah.
that's another tip for, like, even if you're a large e-commerce store and you don't have a backup card payment processor, like if something goes wrong, especially coming into Black Friday and Christmas period, you cannot afford for your payment processor to go down for a couple of days during that period. It could potentially be millions of dollars lost if you don't have a backup, or you can't rectify that quickly. So that's another big one. Like checking all your payment processes are actually working if your sales have dropped off significantly. Another one which is kind of more relevant to the Google Ads world, which won't, halt your sales completely, but will slow them considerably if you're quite heavily reliant on Google Ads, is your Google Merchant Center accounts actually being suspended. So it can get suspended for reasons like your shipping rates are incorrect. Like if you're advertising a shipping rate that's cheaper than what's actually being displayed on your website and you don't rectify that, Google will just suspend your whole merchant center. They'll give you a warning, so you've got 2 weeks to fix it. And if you don't, they will suspend your merchant center until you fixed it. And unless you're aware of that, and you're running heavy shopping ads on Google Ads, your shopping ads will stop. if your merchant center is suspended. So the shipping rates is the biggest one. The other reason where it can get suspended is if you're working in like supplements or pharmaceuticals or things like that. You might have some products that Google have decided all of a sudden that aren't compliant, and there's a few of them, so they basically suspend your merchant center account until you've rectified those issues. But there's a whole lot of reasons that they can suspend your account. So it's something to be mindful of as well. If you're heavily reliant on Google Ads for sales and sales have dried up, go into your merchant center account and see if there's any issues with the products, or see if there's any issues with your shipping rates, or if there's anything going on that may kind of significantly hamper your sales. So they're the three big ones for me to kind of start off this chat for people where the other thing is, this kind of comes into the next thing that I want to talk about, just going through the user experience on your site. If the sales have dropped off and you can't work out why, there might be an issue with the add to cart button, there may be a user interface issue, there may be some weird pop-up that's like an email opt-in that's really hard to close. I see that a bit too, but people aren't even aware of it because they don't go on their site enough and go through the process that their customers are going through to be able to see what potential issues are. So I posted in our Facebook group today, like, just a challenge to people. One, and anyone that's listening to this chat, I recommend that they go do it too. So one, make a list of your top 10 best-selling products, and then next to each one of them from the homepage, just tally how many clicks it takes to actually get to that product from your homepage. If it's more than 4, you've got an issue. So if it's more than 4, and it's one of your top 10 best-selling products, it's too deep into the site. So ideally, they can get there in 1 or 2. So they can either get there because you've highlighted the product on the homepage. Might be hard to highlight 10, but this is the thing. So usually a site do their kind of top 3 bestsellers really well highlighted on the homepage. Where they start dropping off and where the clicks start becoming longer is when you get to like the 8th, 9th, 10th bestseller. Like, they haven't thought about them enough where they are on the site. An easy fix for it is to have them heavily featured in the top navigation menu if you can't highlight it directly on the homepage. But that's kind of a challenge for anyone listening to this. Make a list of your top 10 products. See if you can get there in 2 clicks from the homepage maximum. If you can get there in 1, great. But you want to get to the product page of your best sellers typically within 2 clicks. If you're having to do 4 or more, it's way too many, and you're going to have a big drop off, and you can really increase your conversion rate by kind of limiting how much of your website someone has to navigate through to get to that product.
I like that point. I think that's really, really valuable advice. I don't think enough stores actually look at this type of stuff in terms of how many clicks it takes to get to a product page, or specific, what are your best sellers particularly. So one of the other things I think people neglect, and we've talked about it before, is reviewing your mobile experience. And that's a big one, because the majority of e-commerce sites now, most of their traffic comes from, well, at least, I'm seeing on average between 70 and 80% from mobile versus desktop. So, that's a big one as well.
That's a really good tip, because even myself, I do a lot of the testing on desktop, but one of my clients I'm managing the project for getting their website rebuilt, and I check everything on mobile. I don't check it on my desktop because I know 80% of their traffic is coming from mobile. So that's the experience that I need to be checking. And what I've noticed with kind of the web design companies is they're all developing on desktop too, and the mobile experience is kind of just an afterthought. It's just, let's just make it responsive based off the desktop version. But it kind of needs to be the other way around. You need to be developing almost mobile first, and then making the desktop version responsive to the mobile and making it look good. So it's true. I had they changed something for us the other day. It looked great on desktop, and then I checked it on my mobile, and I was like, oh, it's pushed this tile down like 2 rows, and it looks really bad. And I sent it through, and they're like, oh yeah, sorry, it's carried over from a change that we made on the product page. But I would have never have seen it unless I was looking on mobile. So yeah, that's a great point, Charles. Even if it's probably even a better test to do how many clicks it takes you to get to a product on your mobile. Like don't even do it on desktop, because the mobile ones are actually often more tricky because there's not as much real estate in the top nav, so things can be harder to find on mobile. So yeah, it might be a really cool experiment to do on mobile in isolation, especially if you know your e-commerce traffic is, higher than 70% on mobile, which, unless you're in like the walking frame niche, I would suspect that you're going to have a heavy reliance on mobile traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, when you think about, like, probably even 5 years ago, the idea of making a purchase on your mobile was like, oh, that's a bit risky. Now it's just, like I said, it's more than people make more purchases on mobile than desktop.
You do the research on your mobile, right, and then go to your computer to buy it. So
Yeah.
I think for the big purchases, I think I probably still do that. But impulse buys, like anything under X amount that you're comfortable spending online, you're just going to do it on your mobile because you don't care.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it depends. Yeah, with the big retail, I mean, Amazon, they have a mobile app, and I'm sure a lot of people use that. So yeah, that kind of user behavior probably gets passed through to other retail sites as well.
Yeah, on the mobile app, I mean, it's so accessible now for everyone to get one. There's apps called, like, even Charles and I have been experimenting with it recently, called TapCart, which basically takes your Shopify store and basically allows you to create your own mobile app for your customers to shop on, and it just gives you another point of contact. For example, if you can get 10,000 people to download that app and shop on your store, when you get like notifications from apps on your phone, like, hey, it's I'm thinking this is not so much ecom, but I had the Mario Kart app on my phone for a while, and every time and every week when a new racing tour started, I'd get a notification that the new racing tour had started, and this was probably a couple of years ago, and I've had to delete that app since because I'm a Mario Kart fanatic. So if I was spending too much time on that thing, so had to take it off temporarily. But on the point, like, I was getting notified every week. When you've got your own app, you've got the power to send out push notifications from your app to your customers, which is, I still think, getting a notification to your customers on mobile is where their attention is. And so I think text message, kind of push notifications, app notifications, like these types of notifications to your customers carry so much more weight than an email, because you think about, like, I think a good open rate on an email is probably around anywhere between 40 to 50%. You're doing okay. If you're looking at like a notification to your mobile, you're looking at, closer to 90% open rates, if it's getting delivered to their mobiles. So the attention, if you can get it on your mobile, is so much more valuable than anything else, which is, I'm pushing a lot of my clients to try to move more into this space, because if they do it right, it's just a free revenue spinner for them. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly harder now with email, because certainly with like Gmail, where you've got like promotions tab, there's update tab, and things get lost. You just don't probably miss like the majority of emails that get sent that are promotional. So you're right. There's going to be a much higher open rate with with SMS versus email, I would imagine.
Even so, for example, on my email, I have a filter that anyone that isn't in my contact list, their email goes into my junk. So I check my junk mail like every day because important emails do go in there. But if without that junk mail filter, like I'd be getting, I don't know, a couple hundred emails a day. Like I don't want those notifications. I want the notifications from emails that for people that are on my contact list. So you're right. Don't get me wrong. Email's still super, super important for e-commerce, and you're crazy not to be investing in email. But yeah, people have different buying patterns through email, whereas it's hard to deny a notification on your phone. Even if they close it directly, they're still going to see it. Whereas in email, if it goes in junk, there's a good chance that they may never see it. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you can get the attention on the mobile, you're doing really well if you can push your brand there. But also, you don't want it to be intrusive and spam-like. You want to actually be promoting something decent or have like be sending out value. Like if you're just sending out crap, it's just gonna frustrate your user basically, and they're gonna slowly build in kind of a negative connotation of seeing anything related to your brand.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I think you need to, with the strategy, it needs to be a little bit more refined now than it maybe used to be able to get away with a bit more, self-promotion or what would be classed as spam. Whereas now,
Yeah, you definitely you want to be more conservative on the notifications going to your email. Like, going to your mobile phone. On email, you can get away with doing 3 emails a week. Like that's kind of I think that's kind of almost the standard, like you want to aim for, like 3 value-packed emails a week. But if you're sending 3 notifications to my phone a week, like I'm either blocking your number or blocking your notifications.
you don't want to turn into a stalker.
Even
Yeah,
and even some of the big retailers in Australia, like Kogan, like I get their notifications to my mobile, but they're either running a huge promotion or it's something that I generally want to know about. So like I'm fine getting those notifications, and I might get one like every 2 weeks, which is fine. Like, but if they're sending them 3 times a week, no matter how much I was into it, I don't want that kind of attention going straight to my phone. So, yeah, you gotta be mindful of how you use these things as well.
yeah, that certainly makes sense. Yeah, because I think the way, like I said, the way people expect a lot of emails. They don't expect to be bombarded with a bunch of text messages constantly. So there needs to be some understanding of how people use different platforms and devices.
Yeah, definitely. I think the other 2 things that I wanted to talk about were just like product bundles and multiple buy discounts. But I think Charles wanted to try a little bit of a new format this week and see if we can share screen on this and have a look at a few other sites. So I might. The reason I wanted to talk about product bundles and multiple buys is basically because I've had shocking headaches the last 2 nights, and I don't know what it is, but I just feel like it's my pillow that's causing it. So I was having a look at some pillows by a company called, I think it was called Slumber, with SLUMBLR. .com. They had I was looking at their product page. I'm like, this is a really solid product page. So if we're showing sites on this thing, I might get Charles to bring that one up
Yeah.
later. But I know Charles had a few other ones that he wanted to bring up too that we can eyeball, talk about what we like about it, what we don't like, kind of have a look at how many clicks it might take to get through to their product page. We can bring up a
Cool.
few of those, Charles, and have a look. Even from an SEO perspective, I'm keen to know when you're looking at a site, when you bring it up, like what you're looking at when you're like, oh, they're doing well on SEO, or God, they can improve a lot here.
Well, can you see that, Jimmy? Just a moment of truth.
Yep.
Let's see if
Yep.
the tech is working.
Yeah,
Um,
it looks to be
okay.
so far.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got a couple of sites. Let's start with this. This is a bit of a smaller one. So this is actually a golfing brand that started following me on Instagram, which I thought was quite interesting because their designs are a little bit more, I would say, hip. Like, they're a little bit, they're not like what I would class as traditional golfing attire. But yeah, this is the homepage.
I still got that. Oh, there we go. It's done. I just had that. The discount pop up. Is that visible to you or not? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So you've got the. What do you think of that, Jimmy? Do you like that on sites where? I mean, it's.
It needs to be there. I like to delay it by like 10 seconds. I don't like it to be the first thing that someone shows. People might have differing opinions on this, but when I land on the site, I don't want to be like bombarded with a whole bunch of pop-ups because it reminds you just of a site that's full of ads and sometimes you'll bounce off. But I think these pop-ups are super important. It's just you got to be mindful of how you implement them. And they've kind of gone the standard template, so just first name, email, submit. Like make your button more enticing to push. Like get your discount instantly or something like that. Submit. People
Yeah, I know what you mean.
just feel like they're like they can work on the copy a little bit there. I like the pop up in general. It's pretty standard. But yeah, I did notice that as soon as you jumped on the page, or actually you had it up in a tab, so maybe it loaded a little bit after. So I'm not sure, but it was literally they've got this. It looks like a really cool kind of hero video in the background, but you can't even see it because that pop-up's there straight away.
Yeah.
What I would say about the hero video is if they're selling apparel, there's no call to action in that at all. Like, what's the point? Like, oh yeah, there's an autumn sale up the very top, but it's hard to see sometimes in that image when the kind of the black images move over that. They probably should change the color of it so it stands out a little bit more. But even so, yeah, see when that page went all black, then like you can't even see the even see the call to action. But I actually like the video. The video looks cool. It's just maybe some text or something that talks about their brand in the video, or especially if these guys sell apparel, like I would have no idea they sell apparel from that video.
Yeah, for me, it's a bit too much. Like I like the concept, but it's almost like after a while, I want to scroll down because it's like it's jarring my eyes. I'm like, it's almost a bit. Once you've seen it once, you're like, okay. But I guess it's quite.
This bit here, so just under that, like I don't know what it is, but I love being able to navigate sites with icon navigation like under the hero image. So for example, just above where they've got featured products there, I would have like a bar of icons, and it would have an icon of a hat and be like golf hats or golf bags, and like almost their top collections in an icon, because we're scrolling down here to featured products, but they have no idea what I'm interested in at this point. So they're just kind of showing me a bunch of random products. Give the whole collections of what you've got, because you're capturing a whole bunch more products. So if you just stop there, Charles. So basically from here, we've got 2 bags, 2 shirts, and 4 hats. So I'm not sure if they have them not yet because we haven't scrolled enough. But if they sell golf shoes, I've already had to scroll too far to even find out whether they have shoes or not. So the icons up the top, I love on a site, and I think this is missing that. Kind of just rolls straight into their featured products.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I like that too, Jimmy. I think having those, like I said, those featured collections rather than featured products.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, below this hero image. Yeah, that's a really good point. So as they go down, so they've got. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, there's no buttons there. It's just images. Like, you can click on those.
You can click on them. Yeah,
it's not super obvious that they're clickable. It just looks like a text picture. So I do like that it changes when you roll over it. That's cool, but they need like an arrow or something to pointing to make it look like a more clickable asset because it just looks like text there. It doesn't actually look like something that you're able to click on.
Yeah, I mean these should be the featured icons at the top, shouldn't they? Tees, headwear, or
Yeah,
they should at least
well, based
yeah.
on what we saw in the featured products, we saw what two tops, four hats, and two bags. And then you scroll down, and then they've got those listed there. So that must be kind of what they're focusing on. So now you're kind of getting. Well, they've got essentials. I don't know what's in essentials. Obviously, bags are part of the essentials category, I'm guessing. But uh, we'll scroll down a bit, and then we'll have a look what they've actually got in their essentials.
Yeah. So this is feeding in from their Instagram.
Bit of social media proof on there.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like they've got some blogs down the bottom here. Now, I know, having looked at their Instagram, that they actually have some celebrities that wear their hats. And I know they had an ex-footballer who runs a podcast in the UK, which, if you're from the UK and you like football, you'll know who he is. But there's no photo here of him. So I would. There needs
Sometimes
to
they
be
have
some
to be
social
careful.
proof.
Yeah, sometimes they have to be careful of that showing them on their website.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
I know some brands like get contacted by the celebrity and are like, "Hey, we haven't actually endorsed this product. Can you please take my image off your website?" Which is fine. You just do it straight away. But there may be a reason they don't have that. But yeah, if there's not, then yeah, definitely they should leverage that. What's in their essentials page? I'm keen to know
Yeah,
what else they sell.
we'll have a look at that as well. Just quickly, Jimmy, as well. Like, just looking here, they've got this, Trustpilot reviews. There's no reviews on the homepage either. Something that they could probably add in. I would have thought
Definitely.
a section. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're looking for, there's a few apps you can use for that, like Judge.me, and I think Yotpo is another really popular one that people use for reviews. So, yeah, if you don't have reviews on your site at the moment, get one of the apps on and start collecting them.
Yeah. I think that one of my clients used review.io, I think, which is quite
Ah,
big as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Let's delve into one of these pages then. Okay. Again, pretty large.
Gloves, sweat towels.
It's a
What
pretty
else
large
is in there?
hero image.
Yeah, no, it's massive.
I mean, that could even be half, if not even a quarter of the size.
Oh, they've got teas. How do you get to their bags? Like, where are they selling their bags? So I saw hats,
Uh,
teas. Oh, there. So they do have the
yeah.
bags and the essentials. I don't. Why would they be showing them right at the bottom? Like they're obviously one of their expensive products. Like you want to be showing that as high as possible. You
Mm.
don't want someone to be scrolling through your golf tees so they can see kind of your premium bags that you're selling.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would even, also from an SEO perspective, although I know there's only two bags they're selling, but I would have its own collection page there, um, that rather than just under essentials.
And even what
Uh,
they've named it. So, if you go down to how they've named it, there's nothing in the product name about it being. Uh, oh, sorry. There is in the first one. There's not in the second one. So I was reading the second one. The first one does say it's a golf stand bag. The second one doesn't say anything about it being a golf product at all. So
mm,
that's going to be an issue when they upload their products to organic Google. Like Google has to work out what kind of product it is, and it's going to be hard from that description. Like this is literally so say we haven't visited this website at all, and you got to someone and say, "Oh, hey, I sell Sun Mountain signature stand bags," and what's the person going to say to you? what's that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wait, what did you say? Whereas, you know, yeah, I would definitely be looking at kind of better terminology to name those products for like a Google organic feed, or even an organic SEO page. I'm sure, Charles, that you kind of be looking at that product and be like, okay, what are people actually going to be searching that want this product? Because I can guarantee if someone wants a golf bag with a stand, they're not searching for Sun Mountain signature stand bag.
No, no, definitely not. Yeah, I'll certainly
Actually,
be doing some keyword
this might be a
research there.
good. What happened? What comes up in Google for you now if you type in stand bag on Google? I'm wondering if it is like a golfer's term and it is like Google is well known.
Let's
Like
have a look.
if you go on Google and type in stand bag, like what's actually going to come up?
Well, it's coming. It is coming up.
Okay,
Um,
maybe it is a golf term. So
yeah, yeah. Well, and again, I think that's why it comes down to understanding the terminology of what industries you're in.
it could also be Google using your browser history as well. Because let me type it in Australia and see. I'm just typing it here and seeing what I get. Oh no, I get golf bags the whole way through. So, yeah, interesting. I'd still add the
Um,
word golf in there though, 100%.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's got it on the first one, hasn't it? But not on the second, as you mentioned. Um, let's quickly delve into their actual product page here. Okay. I mean, let's see more images here. This seems to be an error here. The review is
Yeah, it's just floating there.
floating over the actual text, so they need to have a look at getting that
This
fixed.
comes back to what we said earlier about you going on your actual website and seeing the actual experience customers are getting. So if you've got an e-commerce store, you need to be testing the user experience at least once a week. Like
Yeah,
it should be your first thing on a Monday morning. Like, okay, new week, just going to test browsing through my site, seeing what I like, what I don't like, and going from there.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, because you never know, especially with e-com, you've got so many pages, and there's potentially theme issues, and there's a lot of moving parts. So it's important to keep reviewing your pages and the site. Okay, I mean
What's their cart look like? Like, what happens when you add their
yeah. Let's have a
the
look.
add to cart button?
Okay, so it pops up on the side.
Yeah, that's fine. I actually don't mind the user experience of them popping out from the side. Um,
Just click to check out. This just looks like a standard
yeah,
Shopify.
I was about to say, make sure it doesn't pre-populate all your information,
Oh
your
yeah.
address, and everything like that.
I think people know I'm in Kuala Lumpur. Just as I
Oh
got my
man,
the card details on there. I'll have to start ringing the bank after this episode. Get my card. Yeah, good point. Okay. Yeah,
that's pretty
it's
standard. I like
that.
that. There's not a whole bunch of customizations you can do on the actual cart page itself through Shopify without the use of apps and that kind of thing. Anyway, but I think most of these are pretty standard with Shopify anyway. But yeah, I mean, the site looks like it does its job. But yeah, I'd definitely be featuring those bags more heavily on the. I mean, they've got them both there, but you kind of want to. I Because of the limited amount of products you've got hats, tees, and essentials. So you're essentially got hats, t-shirts, and golf bags. Like
Yep.
you want to have a featured thing of the two golf bags, and then having a little kind of SEO snippet there on the homepage about those actual bags as well. And to actually find those bags on a collection page, they're literally sitting on the bottom of your essentials page. I would have thought your most kind of expensive item would be featured on any kind of collection page.
Yeah. And from an SEO perspective, I would really want some text on the page here. You know, I know it would be difficult to put text over this, but you know, usually when I land on a website, I want to know like exactly what it is that site is selling. Just a one-liner.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to put overlay text on this video. They just have to think of a punchline or, a subject line for their site, and they could just put some overlay text on top of that video. Not as part of the actual video. They can just through coding, just put the overlay text on that video, just to basically, premium bags, hats, and caps for golfers. Something simple. Just so people know what they're actually in for when they land on your site. I mean, because the actual site name isn't exactly descriptive either. I mean, 1744. What does that mean? Like, put on your homepage what that actually means. Like, where did that come from? What is that?
Well, again, I was just as you said that, I was thinking, do they have they have a story page? So, here we go. So this isn't bad. This is pretty good. Explaining about the story behind the brand.
I actually like the products. Like, the trucker hat is something that I would wear.
Yeah, I was about to say I would probably buy that. I'd probably buy a hat like that.
I like the hats.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big hat person. I've got a massive hat wall just to the left of me over here. So I would happily add one of those to the collection.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
You have another one that you want to jump to, Charles?
Let's delve in. So that's 1744.co.uk if anyone wants to take a look at that site. Let's jump over.
If you follow them on Instagram, let them know that you heard about them on this podcast, on this YouTube e-commerce chats.
Yeah.
The boys at Ecommerce Marketing Chats were talking about you guys. Love your products, and that's why I'm here.
Let's go over to a bit of a bigger site. This is quite significantly bigger because they operate in multiple different countries.
See what I mean? So they've got the similar background. They've got the video, but the call to action is so clear on that. You know where they want you to go. They want you to shop their new products. I don't like this help us improve our website. I mean, you've been on there for 5 seconds, so...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh, see, look at this. They've got exactly what I was talking about on the last page. So you scroll down, you've basically got the icon thing under the hero image. So this is exactly what I mean when I was talking about that. Like, I love navigating sites like this. So I've come to the site, I've seen their main call to action that they want me to take, but I might be looking for something really specific, and they've literally outlined that really well straight under that. I actually really like that. It's exactly how I like to use a website, and they haven't used icons. They've actually used like actual models, but they've kind of put them in that Instagram kind of icon-y kind of bubble, which is a nice touch. I like that.
Yeah, it's really neat. And scrolling down, so I guess a few, these are probably a few featured collections that they want to show.
It's a visual product too. You want to see it on people. I mean, if they just had this product with no model on it, just the suit, it makes it look more premium in my eyes, the way they're displaying it straight here.
Yeah. A little bit more information.
See, and a lot of the time, I would never make it to this part on the website because I already would have clicked what I was interested in on that top nav part that I was looking at.
Yeah, I think you're
right. The icon nav that I saw, like, that would have got me to click where I want it to go. So a lot of the time, like I'm not even getting to this point of the site, but if someone has, they may not have necessarily found what they were looking for in that top nav, so they need to highlight different things lower down. Like you don't want to highlight exactly what you were showing in that top nav again.
Yeah.
And it looks like they've done it down here a bit further. Yeah, so they've highlighted their actual suit range here, whereas in the higher up nav, they've put people that are shopping by price. So they had suits under 150. They had their best sellers, their new arrivals. Here they've actually focused on the different ranges that they offer. So this is important, not to just keep rehashing the same stuff as you're scrolling down the site. If someone didn't click that initial nav, they potentially haven't found what they're looking for. So the further you scroll down, if you're just continuing to push those navs in different viewpoints, it's not going to work. You want to highlight different things like they've done here. They've highlighted the different range of suits, which is cool, because now you can start shopping by brand or color.
I think this is brand. Yeah, this is shot by the different brands that they've got in their collection. So yeah, no, you're right. Like I said, if you've scrolled down the homepage and you've not found what you're looking for, then you need to give them extra, information that they may not find from just the top navigation. Style guide. This is cool. So
on these sites too, they always need a size guide, and it was one of the first things I saw in the footer. So if you're selling any kind of apparel, like your size guide should be on the product pages. If we go to a product pages on one of these suits, the fact that they've got the size guide there in the footer, I'm going to assume that they've also put it on the product pages as well.
Yeah. And it's got this kind of wide
the mega menu. Yeah,
mega menu.
Nah, this is important
I like
too.
This. So let's go for. We're going to go fancy, and we're going to go for a 3-piece suit. Okay, so you've got.
I love this on collection pages too, and they also have the navigation tab. I like it icon form. They've kind of want a realistic icon form, but yeah, I love the best sites do this. If you can model this on your own site, I highly recommend it.
And for SEO, they've got a nice sentence here as well. So there's an opportunity to get more keywords. Having a small sentence or two on each collection works really well.
Yeah, so that they've obviously got their keyword there in bold. Three-piece suits, and then they've highlighted the colors that they have, which are grey and black. And then they've also got keywords in there like wedding or what's a tweed? Is that a UK term?
Yeah, it might be. It's a type of material, tweed. It's very British. It's a very British. We would wear tweed in the winter time.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I never. It's probably just me, but I've never heard of it. So I was like, wedding I've heard of, obviously, but I was like, what's tweed? Is that kind of an event or what? Like an event like a wedding? So they've gone from wedding to fabric type. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, so yeah, they've done well there. So they've incorporated their keyword, they've incorporated the colors that they have, and then the event that you'd have it for, and also the fabric that they can offer it in also. So they've done well in like a really short snippet. So
yeah,
I like that. I'm keen to see. I've talked them up now. I want to see if they've got the Oh, before we go, they've got good filters here too. So just say you're looking for a blue suit. You could probably click on the color and see what they've got available. And so they've got like you can pick the color that you want straight away. So it's got really quick nav. These are the things that you want to test on mobile too. So it looks great on desktop, but you also want to know how it looks on mobile if it's your own site too. So
yeah. They've
But yeah,
also got, I quite like this add to wish list as well. Something to come back to, especially with a large site. You've got a lot of products.
yeah,
Potentially, you're kind of
and if you've got high priced products, they're good too. Because if it's not an impulse buy, people like to come back to it or think about it potentially. So wish list can be great for high ticket items.
yeah. So if we delve into one of these products, okay. So
Yeah,
they've
so
got the filter.
they've got a virtual fitting room which should be the sizes. What happens when you click on that virtual fitting room? Well, they might be incorporating AR, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so you put in your detail. Okay, this is quite good. So it gives you an idea of,
Okay,
I
so yeah,
guess, what size.
you put in your details and it'll tell you the size. So it's a similar
Yeah.
thing. So you want to avoid people ordering the wrong size because you're just going to get a whole bunch of returns. So the more accurate and the more oh, there you go. They've got the size guide next to select size above. So they've got a size guide right there. So yeah, if you've got an apparel site, this is probably one of the most important parts of the product page. You want a size guide so people are ordering the correct thing. They've done this quite well. They're actually like, hey, you can either just tell us your age and measurements and we'll recommend you a size, or we'll actually provide you the size guide too and you can pick for yourself.
Yeah. Payment options, clear shipping, and then they've
No, this
added
site's
in a
great. If you've got a lot of products and you're looking for something to model, this one's a good one. I especially like the ease of the nav on the homepage, but then also when you get to the collection pages, they've done a really good job on navigating further to find exactly what you're looking for. The product pages have good sizings, so you're making sure that you're getting the right product. And yeah, I think all in all, yeah, pretty decent site. Did you get a? I'm not sure if you remember, Charles. Did you get a pop up at any point though to join their email list?
no, not
I
seen
know
a.
I know they were looking for site feedback, which seems weird. But
This
yeah,
could look in the footer here. Sign up to our newsletter for 15% off. This, I think, a pop up of some sort would be because you could almost miss this in the
yeah,
footer.
oh yeah, you miss it in the footer all the time. What about
So I
there was one. We might jump. I know. I'm just looking at the time. We've got about 3 minutes left, so we might jump. I just want to show the people that pillow site and how they did their basically multiple buy discounts, because I think it can be implemented on a lot of sites. It'll actually look really good. So if you
what's the
go,
name called?
Charles, just type in Slumber. It was called slumbr.com.
Slumber
Oh, without the E.
without the
Um,
E. Okay,
yeah. No, so SLUMBLR.
like that, Jim.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one here,
I'm not sure if
number
it's
one.
.com. It's not the dot shop. They might be trying to rip them off.
Okay,
So
so
yeah,
we'll select Australia. Okay.
honorary Aussie now. But yeah, if you just
Yeah.
scroll down, and I think they highlight their good products pretty quickly. Uh, yeah, I was looking at the number two one. So actually, no, go the first one. So that just the Slumber Contour Relief Pillow. So, and then here is this is an example of a really good product page. They've got all the kind of they've got all the whistles on it. They've got the reviews. They've got the discounts shown. But what I really liked is they've got this section here just down a bit further called More the Merrier. So, I might have only been thinking about getting one, but then, they've got, hey, buy this, save this amount. So two would usually be $162. They're offering here for $145. So the other thing I like about this is they've got the price of what you're adding to cart on the cart button. This is kind of something that I'm looking to implement into clients' sites as well. One, because it looks really good on mobile. And yeah, it's just a nice feature. But yeah, this product page is quite long, but it's got all the bells and whistles up the top. And then if you're still not sure and you're scrolling through, it's got all the information that you could need throughout kind of this whole product page. So yeah, I thought this one would just be a good product page to end on if people are looking for a quality product page, because they do this one, I feel, extremely well.
No, it's good. It's nice. Clear font. It's got the reviews there. Also, I like the fact that they've not just put a bunch of text, they've actually put it into these accordion, I think they call it, FAQ style, to show more info. It's nice.
Yeah, I like that too. And then, yeah, if you do a quick scroll just through the whole product page, Charles, so people can see, they've got, social proof. There's a lot of social proof. They highlight the type of sleeper that you are. And notice while you're scrolling down, Charles, they've got the floating add to cart button at the bottom, so people don't have to scroll back up to buy it. Like if they've read something this far down the page, if you've got a lot of information on a product page, you need that floating button, because they might read something halfway down and be like, oh, this is great, this is exactly what I'm looking for. You don't want them to have to scroll back up to go add to cart. So the floating add to cart button's great as well.
Yeah, no, I like that. Looks good. Yeah, it's a quality page. There's a lot of text as well on here. So it's, sometimes you find with product pages there's not much content on the page. So sometimes it's quite difficult to rank that page. But there's more than enough information here.
This kind of thing, and this comes back to the type of store that you have. So this kind of layout isn't viable for someone that's, got 2,000 products, but it is viable if your whole business is selling one type of product, where for this company, it's selling pillows. So you need to go above and beyond on the product page if you're focusing on one product. If you've got 2,000 products, obviously doing this kind of layout for every product probably isn't viable, unless you've got a massive team that's willing to go to this level of detail for your whole store. But yeah, thought I'd just throw this one in there as a bonus product page, and leave you guys with some good examples. I think Charles has given you a really good example of a large store that's easy to navigate with the Suits Direct. You've got a good product page example on the Slumber Pillows site, and on the home pages, as we talked about earlier, try to make sure your best products are accessible within 2 clicks. If it's 4 or more, it's too many. So keep that in mind too while you're building out your site too.
Good stuff. Well, that's a wrap, Jimmy.
That was a good one. I like the visual examples. We might do some more of those. So we'll see kind of the feedback we get from that. But yeah, I enjoy that too. It makes the time go quicker too. It's not just us staring at each other having a chat. We can actually dive in and have a look, which is cool.
Yeah, and look, anyone that's in the community, if you want us to go through and dissect your site on one of these calls, if you're happy for us to do so, we'll be more than happy to take a look and give you some advice. Or we're happy to do it in private as well if you don't want your site shared. So please do, message us, me and Jimmy, and obviously Ben's in the group as well, who's a big expert on the kind of website and CRO side of things as well. So we're here to help.
Absolutely. And I think we'll call that a wrap for this week. So thanks, guys. Come join us. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. If you've made it this far, hit subscribe and let us know what you think in the group. We'll catch you in e-commerce marketing community on Facebook. Grow your Shopify sales, and you can check us out on YouTube at Ecommerce Marketing Chats. Catch you guys soon.